Hey there. So I've gotten some requests for more information about the AnyDesk security breach that was released last week. And I thought I'd take a few minutes and talk about it and explain kind of what happened and how it might affect you, and if you think you're affected, what you can do about it. So late last week, AnyDesk reported that they had a security breach where attackers got access to their source code and their signing keys and user accounts. And what that means is that essentially their software security got compromised, right? The source code is really not something they can do much about. What they essentially got is a look at the inner workings of the program, how it works, the things it does, how it performs the functions it does, and also they could potentially examine that to find holes in the programming, mistakes that were made, ways that they can exploit that in the future to attack the program, assuming those things aren't fixed in future versions. Not much they can do about that. Source code's out there, it's out there. Hopefully they can have good coding practices and not make mistakes and catch anything quickly if they have made mistakes that got published. But there's really not much they can do other than say this happened and move forward. Second thing they lost, though, was their software signing keys, and that's something they can and did proactively do something quickly about. The signing keys are how they validate that the software that's published is actually published by them. So it's a secret key that they use to create a digital signature on the program that the installer that you run on your computer. And it helps your computer understand that it's legitimate. The problem is that if hackers get access to that private key, they can also publish software that appears to be legitimate, can trick computers into not blocking it, can trick antivirus into not flagging it, and can trick users into installing it. What AnyDesk did was they quickly invalidated the old key, published a new key, and moving forward, any software they release will be under the new key. So there shouldn't be too much of a risk of people using that old key for anything malicious. It's not gonna really work. The really big problem we have for most of our users is that they also got user credential information. Now, we don't know the scope or extent of this yet, but we suspect that at least they got usernames and passwords or some form of possible password representation. And again, we're kind of guessing because they haven't really said. But we're assuming that since they went through and proactively reset everyone's password on the system, they're pretty concerned that those passwords got compromised. The problem isn't that your password to AnyDesk got compromised, because they just forced everybody to change them. Unless you change it back to the same thing, which would be a horrible idea, don't do that, or something similar to it, you're pretty much protected as far as AnyDesk goes. You don't have to worry about someone using that against you, right? The problem is that they have your username, probably your email address, because it's the same, right? And the password that's used on AnyDesk. And if you use that same password anywhere else, now they have the ability to get into potentially other accounts. So a lot of people use the same password in more than one place because it's convenient, because it's hard to remember complex passwords when you use different ones everywhere. And anyone who does that is at risk now of basically losing access to the other account when the attackers figure out that the passwords are the same. So anytime someone gets a hold of a password database, that's one of the key things that they do is they try the username and password on other systems too. They'll try it on social media and on common file share sites like Dropbox. They'll try it on your email providers and anywhere else that they can think of that might allow you to log in with the same information. So this really underscores the importance of using different passwords on every different account. I know that's a pain for a lot of people. That people, I don't want you to write your password down. I don't want you to create something that's super simple, that's easy to guess, but I also don't want you to use the same password anywhere else. And that's why internally here at Fischer IT and all our customers, we recommend that they use a password vault. And the one that we use is Bitwarden. It's the one we trust for all of our passwords. It's highly recommended. It's inexpensive, easy to use. It's actually pretty convenient. It's actually easier than trying to find passwords in other places. One thing that we recommend against is storing your passwords in your web browsers, because while that's super convenient, and yes, you can have a separate password for every account, if I get access to your Gmail account, then I probably also have access to all the passwords that you stored in Chrome that is tied to your Gmail account. Same goes for Edge and your Microsoft account. So you want to use a separate password database of some sort, whether it's online or offline, as long as it's trustworthy, it's well respected, and you can look at reviews online or ask us, and we're happy to help you if you're considering one. But essentially, there's really only three things that you can do if you either are an AnyDesk user today or you ever were an AnyDesk user in the past. You're affected by this, and you should do three things. If you're still a user of the product, you should check and make sure that you've got a current version of the software. And the way you do that is go to their website, you click on downloads, and they'll show you the current versions. For Windows, it's 8.0.8, and that may change after we release this video, obviously. And there's other versions for different operating systems. So find the one that you want. Make sure that you're running on all of your systems, at least the all up to date on the current version. Second thing is that if you're not using the software, you should uninstall it. There's no reason to have a software sitting around. If you used to use it, you don't use it anymore. It's not getting paid attention to, it's not being updated, and it's a risk, right? Third thing that you need to do is, if you haven't already done it, go ahead and change your AnyDesk password. They should have sent you an email to do that, but you can proactively do that. Just go to my.anydesk.com, and I'll put links down below the video for all this stuff too. Follow the prompts and change your password. And then the last thing, it takes a little bit more thought, right, is you really have to kind of search your soul and say, have I used this password or something similar to it in other places? And if you have, you should really change those passwords too. And while you're at it, go ahead and generate random passwords for all these things. Find a password database that you like. If you're one of our clients and you're not using your Bitwarden service, it's included in your service, reach out to support and we'll get you set up with it. If you're interested in it, let us know. We can help you with that too, because we do a lot of cool tools like that for our managed clients. If you have any questions at all, like post a comment in the notes below, or send me a message, or send us a message on any of our social media channels, or support@fisherit.com, and we're happy to help out. Stay safe, go through today and get that done so you don't have to worry about it anymore. And let us know if you have any questions.